Welcome back to Mystic English, where we don't just teach you English, we teach you the emotions behind every word, the heartbreaks behind every sentence, and the peace hiding in the pauses. If you're someone who's ever been told you're too good, too kind, or too easy to love, this story will feel like home. And if you're serious about learning English through the emotions life really teaches, hit that subscribe button and walk with us through stories your heart understands. The first crack appeared subtly, a hairline fracture in the porcelain of their love. George, with a heart as vast and open as the summer sky, had offered Sophia a sanctuary. She, a creature of storm and shadow, had found solace, however fleeting, in his unwavering light. From the moment he saw her, a tempest in human form, he had been captivated. Not by her chaos, but by the raw vulnerability beneath it, a tiny flickering flame he believed he could nurture into a roaring fire. He saw in her a wounded bird, and he longed to mend her broken wings, to show her the quiet beauty of a calm sky. He treated her like spun gold. His words were always gentle, his touch reassuring, his patience a bottomless well. When her mood shifted like desert winds, he remained a steadfast oak, his roots deep, his branches offering shelter. He listened without judgment, offered comfort without condition, and gave love without expecting anything in return beyond her happiness. Their shared moments were simple, yet profound to him. Long walks by the lake where he'd point out the subtle shifts in light. Shared meals where his eyes rarely left her face. Evenings spent reading side by side. The comfortable silence a testament to his belief in their connection. He envisioned a future where his unwavering affection would finally heal the deep-seated wounds that scarred her soul, transforming her inner turmoil into lasting peace. He believed his steadfastness would be her anchor, guiding her through the storms she carried within. Sophia, however, was a child of the storm, accustomed to the thrill of the lightning and the rumble of thunder. Her very being seemed to crave the dramatic peaks and valleys of emotional upheaval. His serenity, once a comforting embrace, began to feel like a suffocating blanket, a dull, unchanging landscape. The quiet calm he offered, which he saw as a gift, she perceived as a void. "You're too soft, George. Too good. It's boring." He'd laugh, a touch of genuine confusion in his voice, and pull her closer, his brow furrowed with a nascent worry he couldn't quite articulate. "Is being good a bad thing, Sophia?" She would shrug, her gaze drifting away, already searching for the next turbulent current, a new wave to ride. The words, initially whispers, grew louder, more frequent, each one a tiny shard chipping away at his confidence, eroding the foundation of his self-perception. He started to doubt the very qualities he cherished in himself. "You don't understand me," she declared during an argument, her voice laced with an exasperation that stung him to the core. "You're just too easy. There's no challenge with you, no fire." He'd try harder, convinced that if he just loved her enough, if he was just more understanding, more patient, more everything, she would surely see the profound depth of his devotion and appreciate the peace he offered. He started questioning himself, his intrinsic nature. Was kindness truly a weakness in a world that seemed to reward sharp edges? Was peace an undesirable trait when others craved excitement? He began to contort himself, trying to find a way to be less good, to inject a manufactured drama into their lives, but it felt unnatural, a betrayal of his true self. The subtle pushes became shoves, growing more deliberate, more painful. She started canceling plans with increasing frequency, citing vague reasons, her phone conversations growing shorter, her voice distant, her presence in his life becoming more ephemeral, like smoke slipping through his fingers. He felt her slipping, a phantom limb he could no longer grasp, the connection fraying thread by thread. The loneliness, a cold, insidious dread, began to creep into his days and nights, a constant, chilling companion. He'd stare at his phone for hours, waiting for a text that rarely came, or a call that never rang, replaying their last conversation, dissecting every word, every silence, searching for a misstep, a flaw in his unwavering dedication, a reason for her growing detachment. His heart, once a boundless source of love and warmth, started to feel like a hollow drum, echoing with the sound of his own desperate pulse, a mournful beat against the silence of her absence. He felt like a ship adrift, his compass broken, caught in a fog of confusion and despair. Then came the day she told him. Her voice was flat, devoid of the usual emotional theatrics, almost clinical in its detachment. "I'm leaving, George." He felt the words physically, a punch to the gut that stole his breath, leaving him gasping for air in a world suddenly devoid of oxygen. He could only stare, his mind refusing to comprehend, his ears ringing with the finality of her statement. "For who?" he finally managed to croak. The single word a testament to the raw agony tearing through him, a desperate plea for understanding. She didn't meet his eyes, her gaze fixed on some distant, unseen point. "He's different. He challenges me. He's exciting." He knew what she meant. He knew the kind of challenge she sought. The kind that tasted like ash and broken promises. The kind that left scars. He knew she was walking back into the very fire she claimed to have escaped. Drawn by its destructive allure, the aftermath was a desolate landscape, a barren wasteland where joy refused to bloom. George wandered through his days in a fog, the world muted, its vibrant colors drained. Joy, a distant, unreachable memory. The apartment felt too big, too quiet, filled with the haunting ghosts of their shared laughter, the echoes of conversations that would never happen again. He stopped eating, the very thought of food nauseating. Sleep became a luxury he couldn't afford, his nights plagued by restless thoughts and vivid, painful dreams. His once bright eyes now held a haunted vacancy, a deep-seated sadness that seemed to swallow all light. The question, a relentless tormentor, echoed in every corner of his mind, a constant, nagging whisper. Was I not good enough? Was my love not enough? Was being kind truly my undoing? He replayed every moment, every interaction, dissecting his every word and gesture, searching for the fatal flaw that had driven her away, the hidden defect in his character. The kindness he had once prided himself on now felt like a curse, a vulnerability he had foolishly exposed. The patience he had offered seemed a weakness, an invitation for her to take advantage. The unwavering loyalty he had given felt like a foolish indulgence, a sign of his naivete. He was convinced that his innate goodness had been his undoing, that to truly be loved, to be desired, one had to be less, to be harder, to be more elusive, more like the very chaos he had sought to heal within her. He spiraled into a darkness he hadn't known existed, a place where self-doubt festered like an open wound and his self-worth dwindled to nothing, a mere speck in the vast emptiness of his despair. He felt manipulated, used, and then discarded, a pawn in a game he never understood. The emotional imbalance was stark, a cruel joke. He had poured his entire being into her, offering every ounce of his heart, and she had taken it all, leaving him an empty, hollowed-out vessel. His friends tried to console him, their voices filled with concern, but their words felt hollow, unable to penetrate the thick wall of his grief. "She didn't deserve you, George. You're too good for her." He'd nod numbly, offering a weak, unconvincing smile. But deep down, a bitter resentment brewed, not just for Sophia, but for the very idea of goodness itself. If being too good meant losing the person he loved, meant this searing pain, then what was the point of it all? What was the value in kindness if it only led to heartbreak? One rainy afternoon, weeks after she left, the sky mirroring his internal gloom, he found himself staring at his reflection in a storefront window. He barely recognized the gaunt, defeated man staring back, his eyes sunken, his posture slumped. This wasn't him. This wasn't the George who found joy in simple things, who believed in the inherent goodness of people, who gave love freely and without reservation. This was a shadow, a ghost of his former self, a flicker, almost imperceptible at first, ignited within him. A tiny spark of indignation, then anger. Anger not at Sophia, not truly, but at himself, for allowing someone else's brokenness to dictate his own value, for letting her narrative become his truth. He started small, almost imperceptibly at first. A walk around the park, feeling the rain on his face, the crisp air in his lungs, a sensation he hadn't truly felt in weeks. He picked up an old hobby he'd abandoned for Sophia. Sketching, the familiar feel of the pencil in his hand a small comfort. The lines, initially hesitant and shaky, grew bolder, more confident with each passing day. He began to see his friends again, truly see them, and listen to their stories, not just nod along distractedly. With each step he took, each stroke of his pencil, each genuine laugh shared with a friend, the fog of despair began to lift, slowly, gradually, revealing the path back to himself. He started reading. Not self-help books, not initially, but stories of resilience, of characters who faced adversity and emerged stronger, their spirits unbroken. Then, drawn by a quiet curiosity, he came across an essay about attachment styles and the insidious, often unconscious, pull of toxic relationships. He began to understand. Sophia wasn't rejecting him. She was rejecting the stability and genuine affection that threatened her ingrained patterns, her deeply etched comfort zone of chaos. Her chaos was her familiar territory, her drama, a dance she knew by heart, a way to feel alive, however destructive. His unwavering kindness, his genuine desire for her well-being, his consistent calm, these had felt alien and frightening to her because they demanded a level of emotional intimacy and vulnerability she wasn't equipped to handle, a peace she subconsciously resisted. She hadn't left him because he was too good, but because she wasn't ready for a love that didn't mirror her own internal turmoil, a love that didn't provide the familiar highs and lows she was accustomed to. The realization was a turning point, a powerful current that began to sweep away the debris of his heartbreak, leaving behind a clearer, stronger foundation. He wasn't too soft. He was empathic and patient, qualities that spoke to the depth of his character. He wasn't too good. He was kind and loyal, virtues that defined his integrity. His quiet strength wasn't boring. It was a deep well of unwavering support, a source of calm and reliability. He understood that true love wasn't about being exciting in a destructive way, about constant drama or manufactured challenges, but about genuine connection, mutual respect, shared growth, and a profound sense of peace. He still felt a pang of sadness for the love he had lost, a gentle ache for what might have been, but it was no longer a consuming grief. It was an acknowledgement of a past chapter, a painful but invaluable lesson learned. He looked at his own reflection again, but this time, he saw a man who had weathered a storm and emerged, not unscathed, for the scars remained, but undeniably stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. His eyes held a new clarity, a quiet determination, a newfound light. He reclaimed his value, not by changing who he was, not by hardening his heart, but by understanding that his intrinsic worth was never dependent on someone else's acceptance, their capacity to receive his love. Love, he now knew, should never cost your self-respect. It should never demand you diminish your light to accommodate someone else's shadows, or force you to betray your true nature. It should never make you question the very essence of who you are, or make you feel like your goodness is a flaw. He had been too good for someone who wasn't ready for goodness, and in that profound realization, he found not bitterness but a profound and liberating peace. He was ready, truly ready, for a love that would appreciate his kindness, embrace his patience, and celebrate the unwavering loyalty of a heart that was, after all, anything but soft. It was strong, resilient, and finally, truly his own again, ready to give and receive love on his own terms. Sometimes, being too good doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you were in the wrong place, trying to love someone still at war with peace. Thank you for watching Mystic English. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, never dim your light to comfort someone else's darkness. And if this story taught you something about English or about life, don't forget to subscribe. There's power in your kindness. And there's always someone out there learning to speak your language.